So guys, I got the SCZ Baja back out last weekend, and as you can see, she got dirty. And this was the third time out with this engine after the break-in. Still trying to get it dialed in. And just to kind of back up a few steps, if you're just watching this for the first time, this is a Rovin Baja. It was a Rovin 305 FT, the one that comes with the clone Team Chase style cage. And I have had it for going on 2 years now. Done a little bit of work to it, upgraded here and there where it was, where it was needed. But for the most part, the main upgrade was the engine, the SCZ 29cc Reed engine. And so those of you guys that have been, that have subscribed and have been following me for a while now, I've had very little time to really run this thing. And so it's done a lot of sitting. And I got it out about, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. If you guys seen that, the video I did with a buddy of mine's big bore Baja, his RC Max Baja. I had my Baja with me that day, and we intended on running together, but it wouldn't stay running, and I could not figure out why. I mean, I just couldn't. I just assumed maybe there was an issue with my gas cap, maybe an air leak, I don't know, but it wouldn't stay running. So I got it home, and I was able to get it started again. I pulled the gas cap off. I don't know, I kind of messed around with the high and low needle. I got it running again and shut it down. I just started in the garage, but I took it back out this past Sunday. And when I went to fire it up, I started realizing I was having the same issue. It wouldn't stay running. It would just die right out, right? So I finally take a look at these fuel lines, and I realized this green one is literally eating itself. It's just the fuel is eating it in half. It ate it in half right there at the grommet. The same green fuel line for the breather had eaten itself as well, and was really just kind of squished. It didn't stand up to the fuel that was either, the fumes or the fuel that was in the tank. I don't know, but I know you're not supposed to leave fuel in your tank, but there was about a half a tank in this for a while, over a month. And I know that's not good, but needless to say, I had enough fuel line coming from the carb to cut and remove the ripped portion and just stuff enough down in here so that I could run, because I was out in the field and I didn't have any fuel line with me. And then I got to looking at the two fuel lines side by side, and you can see clearly the diameter difference, the inner diameter difference between these two fuel lines. And the fuel line, the orange fuel line, came from DDM. Look at that. They're both what would be considered an upgraded fuel line from the stock Rovin stuff, that you get, the black and the orange or black and yellow fuel lines that they come with, the real thin kind of, just cheesy looking stuff. But this green stuff came with the Ghost Racing G5, and I now have it on my X2. I believe I have it on the return line on the G5 because they gave me a bunch of it. Well, obviously it is it's shit. It's shit fuel line. So that really sucks. So I got to go ahead and buy some more fuel lines, some more of the DDM stuff, and replace everything now that I know this happened, because both of these fuel lines were in this grommet the same length of time, which wasn't very long. If you guys look back to through my videos, this is the Snappy RC kit, and I installed this very recently, and I'd only had that one day that I tried to run it, and it wouldn't start under its belt. So it must have, from the time that I installed it to the time that I took it out, those fuel lines, this fuel line got destroyed. So that sucked, man. But needless to say, I got it out. So I mean, I'll replace the fuel lines. I have the carb off, as you can see. I'm gonna put some of the video, I've been trying to cut it down. I did like 2, maybe 3 15-minute runs with it, trying to tune it the whole entire time. And guys, I can get this engine to scream at high RPM. I can get it to scream to the point where it was flying in the grass. I mean, I threw some what you would call cold cutters. These are just these are gutter screws from Ace Hardware. They were $5 for a pack. They come in black and silver. So if you don't want to spend $20 on RC ones. But yeah, so I could not get it tuned on the low end. And in the video, you'll see that no matter what. I mean, it was to the point where it was screaming on the top end, but wouldn't even do a donut. Just lagging, you know what I mean? You guys know, if you guys have been doing this a while, you know that low end lag, just no bat, you know what I mean? No rip to it. And it was driving me effing nuts, man. So I spent, it was getting dark. The mosquitoes were starting to bite me. You'll notice in the video, I clicked the lights on at one point. There was some poor guy trying to teach his kid how to ride his, the bike, probably, 5, 6, 7 years old. He's got to listen to this thing ripping back and forth. But I didn't care, man. I don't get much time to run, and the park is a public space. So yeah, I tried, and I'm at my wit's end with it, man. I'm just sick and tired of, trying to tune that 1107 carb. And I was told when I got this engine, and I tried to really reach out to as many people as possible that had the engine or had experience with Reed engines to find out what carb I should get. And the 1107 being relatively newer, I don't know why I decided to go with it, because to be honest, in the end, I don't think anybody told me to go with the 1107. I saw a video with a 1048 carb by an Aussie guy. He runs a 1048 and a Crix 8 platinum plug on a low C, and he shows the difference between a 990 versus the 1048 in the video. It's on YouTube, you can find it. And then anybody else that had an SCZ or even a BZM on YouTube was running 990s, from what I understand. So yeah, I got a 990. I'm a long-winded guy, I know, but the 1107 is not the same as a 990. For those of you guys think that that the 1107 is the 990 with a choke, it's not. It is not. If you look at the specs, you can find them on DDM. You'll see that the 990 has different specs. This is the 990. It is chokeless. I'm told that this carb is a kick-ass carburetor and is the answer to the problem I'm having. In fact, if you go to DDM's website and you click on the 990 carb, in the description of the 990 carb, it talks about guys having tuned their Baja or tuned their fifth scale for incredible high speed, great top end RPM, but lagging on the low end. And they're talking about other carburetors versus the 990, indicating the 990 is the answer to your problems. So I'm really hoping that's the case. I'm just kind of bummed out, man, because I spent a lot of time trying to enjoy this thing and get it tuned right so you guys could see it rip, so I could see it rip. I did all that to the tires trying to get this thing up in the air, man. I want to see it wheelie. And shit, it wouldn't even burn out. So we'll see what happens. You can take a look at the video. You can see what I was dealing with. The one good news, good piece of news that did come out of the video was that, I know somebody had mentioned recently that you don't have to, the RPM sensor will pick up through the case. And I did have it pinched through the this engine mount and the case. I had it pinched in there. But to be honest, that high RPM on the transmitter, it seemed I wasn't picking up. It wasn't picking up good enough. Once it got up around 13,000 RPMs, it would just I could hear the motor still revving, but it wasn't reading. So I decided to drill a tiny hole in there, get this in there further, and the way it's in there, it's actually in and then bent, and it's pointing right at the the flywheel. So when it comes around, it's like this close to the magnets, and it wasn't reading right. But I attributed it to the sensor. You can see actually, and right, you can see where it's all like the reflection's funny because it's got waves in it. It got heated up real bad because I had it mounted on top of the the Vertigo clutch carrier, and yeah, it got pretty hot. So after I did this, the RPMs were reading like 8,000 at idle. So it was kind of like 3,000 to 4,000 above where it should be. But all of a sudden it started working. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know, maybe the sensors now, it tells me maybe the sensors just effed up and it, but I don't know. The RPM started working right that day, and the speedometer, the change that I made for the speedometer setting is working. That's where I mounted it. I painted the back of the black, or the hostile spur gear black. I put the reflective tape on the spur. I measured the point to point. I think it was 11.5 in the transmitter. And to be honest, my speed seems pretty accurate. I was pretty impressed with that. So I'm going to put a GPS on it and see if it, how accurate it is, and then change the setting in the transmitter to see if I can get it right on par with whatever the GPS says. Once I get this whole situation running right, of course. But yeah, other than that, I mean, she's been really good. I haven't had any breakage or, anything break. So I'm cool with that. I mean, I got this issue going on up here, which I'm assuming a lot of people deal with. Check this shit out. You know what I mean? It's just... They sell a shim. The only place I've seen the shim for it is, believe it or not, on Intigy's website. But I'm assuming there's other arms out there that'll take care of that. Maybe RPM. But yeah, look at all that movement. But I'm not worried about it right now. I got bigger issues trying to get this this engine to run right. So I'm gonna put the 990 on there. I got to order some fuel line, and we'll see how that goes. I know I haven't made a video in a while. I got this Altima sitting in my garage, so I'm pulling the engine and putting a new engine in it in the next few weeks. So my garage is tied up, which means all my fifth scales are in the house, except this one because she's nasty now. But yeah, so stay tuned, guys. I'm sorry I haven't been around, but I've been busy, and I've been trying to get this thing running right, man. I mean, I was out there for hours. It seemed like, anyway. It was hot as hell, and I just could not get it to run right. It was so frustrating. But what are you gonna do? It's just the name of the game. So I took the 1107 off. We're putting the 990 on, and we're gonna say a quick prayer and see how it goes. Those of you guys that never seen how I did this, just as a little bit of added protection, I cut the inner foam from a stock filter, and I put it in there, and it's very lightly oiled. To be honest, I don't know that I needed to oil it, but it is. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Buy some real fuel line. The shit they gave me is some cheap shit. Just pisses me off though, because now I got to do all my other, both of my other fifth scales. And as you know, the track opens next month, and next month is here on Monday. So, right? Or is it here tomorrow? I don't even know. All I know is today's the 28th. But yeah, so I got to get, my other truck the race truck is done. I got the FID diff in there, the diff fluid, everything's done. It's all in one piece, but I haven't ran it. So I need to get it out there and run it. And I'm thinking just to leave it no wrap this year, or at least not for the beginning of the season. I'm just going to run the 30 North panels the way they are. And I was talking to my buddy Alex. He's IE fifth scale. He's doing the Rovin 45 build for the Losi. And he was talking about the MIP clutch because he knows I'm running that 4-shoe carbon Mad Max style clutch in my race truck in the X2 on the G320, and he had said that he might be doing away with the MIP, and he was going to send it my way to see how it works for the season. So I'm interested in that. I'm looking forward to that because I had some issues with that 4-shoe clutch, and I changed the bell, so I'm hoping it's not going to stick anymore. I'm not running the Turtle Racing grabber bell anymore. I went back to a stock bell. So we will see. But yeah, so we may be running a different clutch for the race season. So stay tuned. I will definitely get this carb on there as soon as that fuel line shows up, and I will get this son of a bitch back out, and I'm going to make another video, and hopefully you're going to see this fucking thing pull wheelies, because if not, I'm going to drive it into a fucking lake. Thanks for watching, guys. That FS clutch grab's good, but matter of fact, let's see what kind of heat we got going on over there. 209. Stay away from that water out there. speed seems pretty accurate.